It started.
Stuff.
Right. I'll let people get in here first and foremost, but we're live for first time since we played Valencia, actually, in pre-season in December, which still sounds weird to say, but welcome everyone back to the channel. No
You're
viewers
live.
currently, so that's a good start. I've got 11 viewers, okay, didn't update. Welcome everyone. How's everyone doing? Get in the comments below. How you feeling? Obviously, Forest could still sign about 3 or 4 players for all we know, and there's only a few hours left. So Forest admin are going to be quite busy probably this evening. Myself and Dom, and we
No.
have got Woods are also going to be. We're going to be talking about this. Woods isn't here for the moment, but he will be here later on. But yeah, let's get into it, shall we? So I think we'll start with the main names that we're being linked with. Before I do, I'll just say hello to people. So we've got Joe. How you doing, Joe? Got Laquan, Ethan
I've got my
Clark.
notes up. I've got my notes up ready, David.
It's professionalism. We've got Luke. We've got Rad Dad.
Dom, I think. I can see all across the screen on my iPad at the bottom. All along. Well, people can see where I'm pointing, can't they?
Oh yeah, I need to put the thing up actually. Kel, good to see you. How you doing? Luke Rogers. Evening Rads, looks like Navas is on his way. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Navas for sure, as well as lots of other rumours, whether they're going to happen or not. Andy in here, but yeah, let's get into it, shall we? Dom went away for a moment. He's fine. That was my Wi-Fi playing up. So let's. I think we'll start with obviously what
your Wi-Fi's playing looks really laggy. Just saying.
Is it?
Yeah.
Professional.
I know.
I'll just soldier on then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not live very often, but I thought I'd do a deadline day stream. I've done this for the last few streams or deadline days. So the main ones are really being rumoured. Shelvey looks like he's going to be joining Forest, and Felipe. They've been rumoured for a while. In fact, it's all but confirmed. They've been at the Forest training ground today. It's not actually been announced. And obviously, Nas, it looked like it was off, but now it seems like it's back on again. So we'll wait and see about that one. There's lots of other rumours. We'll get into those in a moment. But Dom, how do you feel about our potential signings? How do you feel about Felipe first and foremost? Do you think it's a good buy?
Well, I haven't seen him play, but he's like, what, 32, 33?
33.
Experience, he's gone for titles, the lot. So I think short term, probably a year max. That'll keep it up.
Yeah, I agree.
Ability at the back, that will definitely keep us up if needed. That's what I think about him.
Yeah. Anyone that's watched, we've got 30 people in here, so thanks very much everyone for being here. You would have seen Dom if you watched my channel for long enough. Been in my vlogs, and he can't do that this season because the Premier League just don't allow people to go and watch games. It's fraudulent, really. But my only concern with Felipe, I suppose, is his age, and then also the fact that he's
1 year. It's fine.
It's 1 year, so that doesn't make that's all right.
I don't know how long it is, but if it's 1 year, it's fine.
I think also, as Luke brings up here, doesn't really solve our issue of not having any pace at the back. But to bring in someone as experienced as Felipe, I don't think we can be too critical. Exactly. Yeah. I've got Nick in here. Welcome, Nick. Yeah, I was watching Fabrizio's stream earlier. Actually, it's probably the number one wet place to go for transfers, really, isn't it? Tom, we know this. Who's this, Tom? We know Tom, don't we?
Oh God, is he here?
He's here. Oh, that's a lovely way to greet him, isn't it? Nathan, is Shelvey and Felipe done? Well, yes, but we've not actually had official confirmation. They've been outside the training ground today, pictured. This was in the morning. Forest haven't yet announced it, but you know what deadline days like. It can go on for quite a while, but I think it's imminent, basically. And the other one that's very close, and we'll talk about him next, actually. Then we'll talk about Shelvey, is Keylor Navas. And I did a video yesterday about all the rumours. Obviously, there's been updates. I'll give my take first, and I'll ask you. On honestly, I don't know why I keep pointing my pen at the screen. Navas, it's a shame he's 36, to be honest, because that's not very long term, and I think it would be a loan. I mean, I don't know that for sure. That's my only concern is he's not a very long term thinking signing, but obviously we do need a goalkeeper, and I do also think that it's a very, very good goalkeeper to bring in to have Navas and Henderson. I think that's great. It's just a shame that it'll probably be on high wages as well. But what do you think, Don? Like, do you think it's a good signing? Does that bother you about his wages and age?
Well, Forest can probably easily cover that because they're quite rich, but I think 6 months ago, until the summer transfer window opens, where we can see if we can get Henderson or how do you pronounce his name? Livicic or whatever his name is.
Yeah, it's not. I used to say Livakovic. It's actually Lajkovic, I think.
I think if we
Croatian
can't get in the summer, Navas should cover until we can potentially get him in. I think that would be an excellent buy in the summer. So that's why I think Forest getting some experience in the goal, and then they're going to probably spend the 10-15 million on him in the summer.
Yeah, I could see that. That's another thing I worry about with Navas is like it might push Henderson out, and I don't think he really deserves it. But obviously, like you say, we could buy him. Sorry,
I don't think Henderson will be pushed out until he goes back to United. If he does,
yeah,
I think he's purely there to cover if there's injuries.
Yeah,
because he's been like fourth or fifth choice at PSG, so I think he'd be alright with that.
I think even
once. Did you know that? I think they had like 8 goalkeepers. So in terms,
I think even at Nottingham Forest, I think he'd probably be all right being backup even for what he's done in his career. The fact that he's 36 and he knows that he's coming in to replace a first choice goalkeeper, he probably wouldn't be too bothered.
Yeah.
I mean, he said he's interested, doesn't he? So,
there's volumes
obviously,
about the World Cup.
It looked like it was going to be
the old goalkeeper. 6 months, I think that's all right, and then we'll see what goes on from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case of needs must, isn't it? Really, like we need to get a goalkeeper in. If Henderson, I don't think he's out for too long, but we can't really be trusting Wayne Hennessy, can we? In net for the rest of the season.
No.
So it needs to happen.
Yes, but not in the Premier League.
Yeah, that definitely for sure. Nick's got a point with Shelvey. Shelvey has already trained with his new teammates, but has returned to Newcastle to say his goodbyes. I heard that actually on Sky earlier. Sky and just there actually.
Back tomorrow or something.
I've heard. We'll actually talk about Shelvey now, being as Nick's brought it up. I've heard very good things about him from Newcastle fans. They seem quite sad that he's leaving. Actually, even in their situation. When I first saw this rumour, I wasn't too inspired, but now I've thought about it, I think it's actually a really smart signing.
I think it's an excellent option off the bench signing. Well, player. The experience. He's only 30 as well, so he's got at least 3 seasons at least. So I think if it's less than 10 million, that's all right, I say. Don't know about you.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it would be too expensive because he is, he's 30, so it's not like a really long-term signing, but he's still got a few years in him for sure. And I don't know how long. I think he's signing a 2-year deal, and like we're saying, it probably wouldn't be too expensive. So I think that's actually quite a smart signing, a very experienced signing. He's got nearly 300 appearances in.
And if Yates is injured, then that's great cover, I think.
Absolutely.
But Yates' role, whoever plays in Yates' role as well, great cover.
That's just going to go over some comments. I don't want to miss any comments if I can.
I wonder what
Darlow is backup if Navas don't. I think we are getting Navas, but I know Darlow is still on the cards if we can't get him.
Not going to all then, is he? Interesting.
Going to be fascinating to see what happens, really. Nottingham Forest will announce them at 12:01. I remember that happened last summer or 2021 summer. We signed Xander Silva on literally 11 o'clock. So, anything could happen on deadline day. O'Brien, we'll talk about outgoings later on. I want to do incomings first, but it's a good point you raised, Matt. Navas seems like it's back up. Yeah, we're kind of going all over the place, aren't we? But Navas, it looked like it wasn't going to happen at one point today because of his wages apparently, and PSG wouldn't make the minds up whether they wanted to loan him out. But it does appear like he's going to come to us. Who would have thought that we would have been signing a Champions League winner just last year? No one. Hello, mate. How are you doing? So that's Southpaw Red 2. Callum NFSC. I've heard PSG will pay a lot of his wages. Yeah, I've heard that as well. So that sounds like it's probably the case. I'd rather Joe Wall be in that than Wayne Hennessy. Well, I mean, he did a good job when he went in net last year, didn't he? Which was a pretty bizarre thing to witness live. Xander Silva, what a club legend. Well, he got promoted with us, so
He's in France now somewhere, I think. Somewhere in
yeah,
in France, I think.
Believe so. I think he's at,
I think.
is it Dijon or someone like that?
Yeah. Have you heard of the new rumour that's come out about 4:30ish, by the way?
No, what was it?
There's this winger from Mold or whatever.
Oh yeah, I have.
I can't even say his name. It's something. It's like Ola something. Just thought I'd let you know about a New York channel. Know about that one. See if
I saw. I'll try and get a story up about that.
Yeah.
I definitely saw that.
Don't know if you saw it, but yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I saw this on Twitter.com. Probably ought to get it up on screen. So, yeah, this basically. We've been linked with this guy here, highlighted. No idea how to say his name, but apparently PSV are also interested, as you can see from that tweet. I mean, I don't really know what to say to it because I don't know who he is.
Neither do I. I just thought I'd bring it up.
Well, I was going to mention him, but well done for bringing it up. So, yeah, and not that. We need that view. Who have we not talked about them? We've spoken about Shelvey and Navas. We can go back to it. I mean, we have actually got Woods coming in later on, everyone. He's technically in the ET, but he doesn't really upload, though. But you may know him on Twitter, but he'll be in later on, everyone. Being as we've mentioned a few potential outgoings, someone actually mentioned. Sorry?
You're talking about outgoings now. All right.
Yeah, we can go back and forth, but someone mentioned, Matt mentioned O'Brien to Blackburn. This is another story that's been happening. I'm a bit sad about this, to be honest.
Well, he was linked with Sheffield United, but they're keeping Berger now, I think, so we won't go there.
And West Brom wanted him initially, of course.
Got like Chamberlain now or something, so he won't go there. So we'll see if anything happens there. But I think he does need that loan to get his confidence back. Yeah,
it's an interesting one, isn't it? See what's. I mean, he had that illness, which kind of.
If played him at left back like I did, there would be no issues there. That's what you do. Play him at left back like I did on FIFA.
Brilliant.
Work wonders.
Well, FIFA's quite different to real life, unfortunately. If only it was realistic at times, anyway. But yeah, I'm quite sad. With 10 million buy option is pretty good as well. Like we would actually get quite a bit of money back for him, and we did pay about 9 million for him in the summer, of course.
It was 4 million.
I thought we spent 9 million each. Was that for him and Toffolo combined?
That was combined, about 10 mil combined for those two.
Well, I know we got a bargain in getting those two for a small price. Speaking of Toffolo, sorry.
Huddersfield didn't really invest that, so
no, they didn't. At all. I mean, look at where they are now. Speaking of Toffolo, apparently he was meant to be going to Anderlecht on loan. That's no longer going to be happening, seemingly.
Oh, is it? Well, I saw something earlier, so it might happen still.
Well, it's 50-50. It looked like it was going to happen, according to Fabrizio Romano yesterday on Twitter. He was saying that it's all but certain he's going to go, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. Okay.
I've got an interesting one for you.
Go for
Cafe
it.
is Reading.
Yeah,
Have you heard?
I saw that. And Lyle Taylor.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard about that one.
I have. I've got plenty of comprehensive notes here.
If we can loan him out, get an option to buy, I think that would be smart. That's my opinion on that one. See if that happens, but an option to buy, maybe.
I mean, I think it's needed, isn't it? Like, particularly Cafe, they've been like cult heroes at the club, but they obviously need to be moved on. I think, any championship club are getting a steady player. Getting interrupted here by Tom's dad.
I always come in when I'm on.
Tom backing up what we've been saying about O'Brien and Toffolo, 5 million each, apparently. I know it wasn't very much for obviously two very good players, at least for championship level. But it does look like we're going to be keeping all the Toffolo, and O'Brien's going to be going on loan currently to Blackburn
as well. I think Cook is staying as well. He is linked with a few championship clubs.
Yeah, and I was actually going to talk about him very soon. Cook does look like he's going to be staying. He was linked, of course, with Stoke and Luton and Birmingham. He was linked with all those clubs, but it does look like he's going to be staying. Which, for nostalgia purposes, I don't mind, but he's not really going to get much game time, is he? Especially with Felipe all but confirmed. I mean, how do you feel about that, Don? What do you think about Cookie staying?
I thought a championship move would be all right for him, but he's not. I don't think he's Premier League level now. Cup games, yeah, all right, whatever. But Premier League, no. So I think he should go to the championship where it's more suited for him if he gets a good offer. Definitely not Stoke, though. That'd be an awful move. Stoke City. No.
I mean, they have just lost Harry Shotton, haven't they, to Leicester, so it would make sense.
Yeah, still.
And he wouldn't have to move house, probably.
Still waiting for that one to come through as well, so we'll see if that one happens.
Comment about Shelvey. Not shy of shooting, that's very true. He's got a lot of belters in his time, hasn't he, John Shelvey? So hopefully we can see some of those at the City one.
Disappointed in this window. I can see a viewpoint.
Is Navas confirmed now? Kel's also saying that Navas is confirmed. Or it's looking confirmed. I've not been on Twitter for like 10 minutes and something happens.
I shall refresh it. Nothing from Forest.
I just tweeted you about Navas. You go off. You can't do this on deadline day. You can't not go on your phone for 10 seconds and if you had a rumor out of nowhere. Dom, you can check that if you'd like because I'm actually running a stream here.
I'll check it. Don't worry.
Xander Silva was actually decent. Some of the games he played.
According to TalkSport and John Percy, it looks like it is done.
Well, whenever John Percy tweets.
Medical to be placed in Paris. So we'll see if that one goes through. It looks like it's moving very quickly though. Or quicker than expected.
Got it over the line. Yeah, I've just seen that tweet actually. We'll get that up now. Here we are. So we've got the pretty much confirmation of Keylor Navas coming to Forest. Deal in final stages, medical expected to take place in Paris. Basically what Dom's just said. Lewis O'Brien having a medical at Blackburn, it seems. Interesting. Well, I'm glad we got that insurance.
The loan does, that's all
right. So that would then mean we've got 5 on loan, won't it? With 3 the option to buy. To interrupt, I don't want to be on that screen, but to interrupt what we're saying, I can now add a third guest to this stream. He was going to be here from the start, but he's finally here. You've probably seen him before. Woods.
Hello.
How you doing, mate?
I'm all right.
Brilliant. So we've gone over Navas, Shelvey. I mean, as you just saw Navas, Shelvey, and Felipe, Cook, O'Brien. You can give your thoughts on all those if you'd like. But being as you've just joined, what's your overall thoughts on what's been going on so far?
Well, so far, there's been promising spells and a bit like why sort of transfer rumours. I feel like at the start, Navas, I was a bit iffy on him. I felt, why would he'll want to come in and play number one. But now I'm looking forward into next season. If we stay up, we can try and get Henderson. If we go down, then we get a different goalkeeper.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I do think with Navas coming in, like you say, we could still sign Henderson regardless, but we would still have to go out and get into the goalkeeper because of Navas being alone, and obviously taking into account he's 36. But I do think it's the cover we need. To see someone as experienced as him come into the club is massive, really, isn't it? So I'm happy to get that cover across the line.
I wouldn't say just experience. I would say quality as well.
Yeah, he's up. Think he's a 3-time Champions League winner. God knows how many trophies he won at Real Madrid. He's kept winning trophies at PSG as well. And to be on the bench at PSG, it's still good, especially for his age.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's coming in. The fact that we're able to lure such a high quality player, to the club.
Mental.
Brilliant. These are the sort of signings you make on like FM or career mode on FIFA. Since the start of the season, I would not have imagined us of signing Renan Lodi or Lingard. I genuinely thought they would have been at different clubs, but they're here, and the team we're watching now. When we start clicking, and we start playing actual good football, and it's so entertaining to watch, especially Gibbs White. But however much we end up paying for him at the end, he's been absolute steal.
He's one of the most talented players I've seen at the club, for sure. We go back to when we were doing streams like under Q2, and we were watching. We actually were just talking about it before the stream started. Guy Sangbong and Carl Jenkins in the fullback roles, and now we've got Atletico Madrid left backs and Champions League winners. It's pretty surreal, really.
Yeah,
that we've got all this. 64 people and everyone. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please hit the like button, subscribe, of course, if you're new. Greatly appreciated. If I've missed any comments, Rad Dad saying we need a centre half. Absolutely. It does look like Felipe is going to be signing as well. Obviously, another Atletico Madrid player and another Brazilian.
And I think there's also a young Turkish defender as well playing at Atalanta that we've been linked with. Well, what's his name?
That's very
true. I know he played for Juventus before he went to Atalanta. I just can't remember his name.
I'm going to try and get a link up.
Who?
Bremer or something. Is it a striker?
No, Brenner is the striker that we was linked with. I think the centre back was Demiral.
I've got it actually.
Yeah.
It's, what you've just been saying. I've just hide the chat.
Oh, it's
yeah, him.
Yeah. No, he's a young lad, 24, Turkish international. I think I think the link started yesterday, I think it was. I'd take him because he's young. He's young, isn't he? He's got plenty of experience in the top division.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, do you think we'll get him now? We're also getting Felipe, or do you think it's one for the future?
I think it's going to be very difficult because the window shuts at 11. I think for us.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna be doing transfers, they need to be in England now, doing the medicals, getting all that sorted out. because it's literally now or never type thing until next window where we might not even be in the Premier League, which is still a possibility. As much as I hate to say it, it's still a possibility because this season the relegation fight is absolutely it's stupid how close it is. Like, out of all the seasons we choose to go up, and we go the most difficult season to go up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is incredibly competitive. Obviously, the bottom of the Premier League. I mean, this is not that transfers, but do you think we'll stay up? Because I think we will.
I think right now about 15th, I reckon. Around there.
I think if we keep up the same sort of form in the league as we have done, then I think we will stay up. But it's all about how we bounce off the United Cup games. Because if we lose both the cup games, we don't want that affecting our games at all, like our league games. Because we've seen it before, haven't we? Where we've had a very good spell, and then we've had a loss, and then it's all of a sudden just plummeted.
Absolutely.
Them one losses can kill all confidence you've got and all the momentum you bring up as well.
It's mental, isn't it? I mean, look at how close it is between even 15th and 13th. There's 6 points there.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very competitive fight. And this is why we need to sign players. And this is why when people criticise Forest for signing players, they don't know what they're talking about.
Also around as well, because they haven't signed any yet. So I reckon they could easily drop into a battle themselves.
I think Palace would be okay, in my opinion. But I understand what you mean. They're not really signing anyone, have they? Or
they could. They are in dangerous. That's how tight it is between 12th and bottom, I would say.
I mean, it's literally like something like we're 6 points clear off bottom, and then we're 8 points away from like Chelsea, who are 9th, 10th, around that area.
Yeah, the 10th actually.
So there's like 8 points. There's any chance any of them can start getting into a relegation fight if all goes to hell.
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's mental. So look at some comments. Bottom 3 prediction. Good question.
Yeah, what's right now? As I don't know how long we're off the deadline, but yeah.
Well, I would have definitely said Everton, but I personally think with Deitch there, I think they'd be okay. I mean, that's actually a question, and everyone in the comments, who do you think's going down right now? In your unbiased opinion, who do you think would be going down to the Championship? Hopefully not Forest. What do you guys think?
I normally don't like to do predictions because I always find I predicted games before and it's all comes flying back at my face. But I think with the form Southampton's been in, they have a very strong possibility of going down at the moment. I think they've had 1 win out of 5. I think that says there.
Yeah.
Who was that again?
I'll check on Mob.
Yeah, you do that, Dom. You do that. The 4 wins all season for Southampton.
Yeah.
It's actually less than Everton, which is interesting.
It was Everton. That win was against Everton.
Of course it was. Right. Well, oh, yeah. Remember now. Away from home.
So, yeah, 1 win out of 5. And that's what? I mean, I'd happily see the bottom 3 as it is now.
Yeah. Same here. Absolutely.
I mean, as long as we don't see ourselves down there, I'm happy.
Thank you very much, for your support. Good to see you in here. Luke says, Bournemouth, playtime, going Southampton. Fascinating way of putting it, Luke. My dad, he doesn't agree with that. Luke thinks Wolves will go down. But he thinks Everton will. I still think Everton are in trouble. Yeah. I think Deitch will give them a much more competitive chance. I think Bournemouth and Southampton, to be honest. So I actually could see it staying as it is now.
No one said who
I-
I've got. No one has said who I've got in 18th. That's interesting. I've got
Leeds.
Leeds.
I thought you were going to say that.
It is very difficult to talk about Leeds at the moment because they're bringing in some class players.
It's
but-
Jesse. That's why.
Yeah, like they're bringing
not
in
squad.
quite a few Americans now, aren't they? They've got 4 or 5 Americans in the team now. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the next signing they make is Christian Pulisic from Shelvey. I would not be
Basically,
surprised.
their transfer policy is either Americans or former Red Bull team players
Yeah.
coming over to Leeds. Pretty much.
I know that apparently that we want. Well, I say we. Dane Murphy wanted Jesse March before.
He did.
That's what was reported. So
Got a few more comments actually about relegation.
Bin dippers.
Leicester.
Bin dippers, Everton and Bournemouth.
I think that's Leicester, isn't it? Bin
I
dippers.
think it probably is.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Leicester would be okay personally.
I think. Well, it all depends though, doesn't it? Because I think they're after Maddison now, aren't they? Newcastle.
Yeah.
They've been rumoured for him for a while.
So I think it's literally the same with quite a lot of these teams in the bottom half. Is you take one player out of their team and it could literally all collapse. I mean, think about it. You take Ward-Prowse out of Southampton.
Oh yeah, they're done.
They're done. Everton take Pickford out of that team. Bournemouth. Well, it's hard to pinpoint the Bournemouth's best player because they've all sort of been.
Billing maybe someone like that.
I don't know. I
Solanke.
mean, yeah,
And maybe Jadon Anthony actually. He's been doing well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Who's that?
Tom-
Who's that winger they just signed?
Tom does not think Dyche will keep Everton up.
Who's that winger that Bournemouth just signed?
Oh
Oh.
yeah, is he from Belgium or somewhere like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
That's
he
Susan,
was.
isn't it? That's the one.
Isn't it mental though? I saw a comment actually saying this about how you can be any kind of team in the Premier League, but because you're in the Premier League, you can attract like the most random players.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look at us. First season in the Premier League, and we're getting Champions League winners in.
You can't believe it, can you?
Who is it? I think on Forza Garibaldi. Shout out Forza. They had some. I forgot who it was now. Was it Fletch or something like that?
Mm.
He was talking about how people from other Premier League clubs are wanting to come to Forest. You know, it's
Who would have
normally,
thought that?
it's normally in the first time they beat the team comes up. You know, normally sort of be like, oh, I'll see how they do if they stay up, sort of thing. But no, the teams want to come to Forest. The players want to come to Forest.
Yeah, I just feel like when you see it happen, we're not like a European team like we were back in the day, but I feel just the name of our club, and this isn't bigging us up or anything, but I still think it does give us that edge because people know, players know what we've won and where the ambition we have and the tradition. And I do think it helps us out in terms of attracting players, and then obviously like the players we've got already, Cooper. I think it goes a long way for sure. And
I mean, yeah. I mean, like you look at it. I mean, what? I think Cooper sells the club to the players. Like, you'd hope the manager would do that anyway, but it just looks like he just sells it completely. And I think that's what draws players in. I mean, you look at what players say when they first join the club. I mean, they talk about the manager, the fans. They talk about the club's history. How big the club is as a football club, and they all want to be here. They all look like they want to be here. I mean, Renan Lodi, you would think someone like Renan Lodi would come here to get some game time, get some form back in him, go back to Atletico. He wants to stay in England. He wants to stay at Forest, fight for Brazil.
I'm really happy that he's turned it around. Because of how poor he was, he's been fantastic, hasn't he?
Mhm.
So I'm really happy that he's turned it
What's
around
the
to the point where he wants to stay with us.
I think it's £25 million or something like that.
I think that's
What was
the
that
first
then?
week of summer then.
What,
First week of
permanently
summer.
sign Loddy?
Yeah, first week.
Yeah,
I
I
think-
agree.
If at any point during the second half of the season, where it looks like we're going to be comfortably staying out the relegation zone, or mathematically clear of going in the relegation zone, I think at that point we will activate that buy clause.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why we need to stay in the Prem. Imagine what players we have in our team in a couple of seasons if we stay up. Exactly. We were talking this there actually, weren't we, about certain teams having like that, just that one player that carries them and gives them that chance. But I think Forest have more than that. Honestly, like
I mean,
we've lost Gibbs White seemingly, but then we look at Scarpa and we've got players like that in the team instead that can step up and do it instead. Johnson, you know.
I mean, you look at the players that we do have. I mean, you have Henderson in goal, who's done brilliantly this season. Unfortunate with the injury, and obviously we're looking at to replace him now for a little bit. I mean, when we get Niakate back, that's a strong centre back there.
It'd be like a new signing, won't it?
Yeah. You got Aurier. You got Aurier and Renan Loddy. You would never think in a million years you would have a fullback pairing of Renan Loddy and Serge Aurier at Forest.
It's mental, honestly, having two players of that caliber, especially Loddy, because of he's a lot younger than Aurier. But I think what's great about Aurier is the fact that he's just proven us all wrong. Really.
Yeah. I mean, everyone. It's the same with Lingard. I mean, Lingard hasn't scored or got the goals. They got the goals or the assists or anything, but I think he's like a Cafu. I think he just brings everyone together.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I know Cafu's probably still in the dressing room and all that, but we've got players who are, bringing the mood up, bringing the vibe, bring the vibes and all that. And I'm talking in young folk here. But you know what? That's the sort of thing, though. The players come in and they just get it. I think everyone said Lingard come here for the money, this, that, and the other. Oh, £120,000 a week. You look at the team and you think with Lingard, he's there on the sideline, he's there cheering the players on, celebrating after the games when we win. Does that look like someone who's come for the money?
Not a chance. He's properly invested, and he really, You look at that podcast he did the other week. I was talking about Forest.
I think that's all down to Cooper and his staff, how they get the team to settle and all that.
And he was saying straight away, they just wanted me. They gave me the appreciation, whereas West Ham, for instance, they weren't. And that just shows that he weren't just here because we were offering him more money than certain clubs. He's 100% invested. People are telling me to look at Twitter. Has anything been happening? Probably.
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything yet.
What's happened, Brandon? On Twitter. Brings a smile to your face looking at our squad now. Absolutely, yeah.
John Percy tweeted half an hour ago, Forest have now have an agreement with PSG to sign Keylor Navas on loan. That was half an hour ago.
Oh, yeah, I showed that, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, Navas, like we said, brilliant goalkeeper, has proven it in multiple leagues. And it seems like, again, he just wanted to come here. I mean, from the very get-go, as soon as we was interested, all you heard was he wants to move to Forest. He wants to move. He rejected Al Nassr to play with Ronaldo and get mega money to come play for Forest in the Premier League.
Unbelievable.
You might say, that's Premier League, or are we the European Super League type thing? But it's just the fact that everyone watches the Premier League because it's one of the biggest leagues in the world.
That's it, isn't it? It's the Premier League, and then as well as individual club does matter. Like, we looked at Bournemouth, they were going to be signing that Zaniolo guy. He didn't want to go there. But then clubs like Forest.
Yeah, what I saw about that Zaniolo was that he actually accepted the move, but Bournemouth then put a stop to the move because because they spent a lot of money on other projects, bringing in other players. So I think they're worrying about FFP a bit.
It's
Well,
weird
Chelsea
seeing
are.
Bournemouth spend money, isn't it? Yeah, I think it
Chelsea
was something like that.
They've spent nearly 600 million since Todd.
The Chelsea have just gone mental, haven't they?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if Chelsea, I would be very surprised if Chelsea aren't caught up with FFP anytime soon. I know that Mudryk, they're paying him in what is it?
Installments.
Yeah, installments. And I know we're doing it with Danilo, but that's you compare the Danilo price to the Mudryk price, you got about £100 million worth of difference in there. So
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
they want to get Enzo Fernandez. That's another 105, some £120 million.
It'll be a record deal.
That's what in the last two transfers. That's almost 200 and some odd million.
Fab's tweeted about Navas.
Just seen that. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, just confirm what John Percy said. Navas, full verbal agreement has been reached. It's a crucial step, absolutely. He accepted days ago. Player side is not an issue. So if anything goes wrong, it'll be to do with probably PSG. But it does look like it's going to be happening now.
Wait, is the medical being done? I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that. John Percy said it was happening in Paris.
Yeah.
Right. As long as that's
so obviously
just travel then.
Absolutely.
I don't think he'll be here in time for the Man United game though.
No, I don't think he would. Unless he
all
can get one final game.
I don't. It all depends though, doesn't it? Because with loans, it's very. You normally wait for him to get if you bring in a player permanently, you normally wait for him to get a thingy in training session in. But I mean, you look at Chris Wood the day before we signed him. We signed him, and then he went and played against Bournemouth without having a training session.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah.
I don't know whether the transfer window is a bit different with it, because they normally do like a transfer deadline day. I don't know whether there's anything different between that.
I'm not sure, if I'm honest. I mean, maybe it's the day before and it's not actually happened yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be too late. I mean, it'd be great if he could. He could half a chance, wouldn't it?
I think it's all down to the documents and what time the Premier League or is there.
Yeah, I believe it is.
As well.
Because we could do with Navas in goal against Man United. Not putting anything against Tennessee, but in the last two games, he's been... You can see why he's the backup goalkeeper. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a brilliant game against Spurs in the Cup. And then the last two games against Man United... Or the last game against Man United, it's been a bit air.
Yeah.
But that could literally just be down to the fact that he's not been playing.
I mean, before he joined us, he hadn't played for a long time. He played up 4 games in 3 years or something.
I think it was something like that was the first in his Premier League start against Bournemouth or something like before. It was his first start in the Premier League since what was it, 2018, something like that.
Blimey.
I think 2018, 2019. It's a long time.
So I don't think he ever played a Premier League game for Burnley. So
no,
he wouldn't have done if that's the case. Doncaster on tour. Hello, how are you? Dennis says, Rads, I've been watching your channel for ages and love it. You and your dad and magic. Keep up the wonderful work. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that very much.
TikTok now.
Yep, they just have actually. Newcastle. Interesting to see what the line will be against Leeds. We'll talk about the upcoming games very soon, actually. I think we ought to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And Kel, we'll be seeing you. We'll be at the Leeds game. So anyone that's going to the Leeds game, if you do see me or any of us, apart from Dom.
Run away. Run away.
Dom's not there. Don't run away. Just say hello. We're very friendly, in my opinion. Anything else I've missed? He wouldn't be able to play against Man United yet. Straight, obviously, in reference to Navas. So it'd probably be Leeds.
Yeah.
And speaking of Jordan Smith, actually, we were. I was actually going to mention this. He might be going to Huddersfield. Haven't we done enough to Huddersfield in the last year? That's a bit harsh, in my opinion.
I think Huddersfield are sleepwalking to the League One right now, to be honest.
I need to get this up.
I mean, Smith. I mean, you can't really fault Smith for staying with us. I mean, a lot of fans have got on his back saying, "Oh, why are we still giving him a contract and all that?" But
Toffolo's on his way to Belgium.
Oh, is that happening now?
Yeah, it's because Lodi. I think Lodi was a knock, but they've obviously done training because he was walking fine with Felipe, if you read.
Yeah,
so if it does happen, I think Lodi might be okay. You'd hope he'd be okay because we kind of need him.
It's all right. We've got Jack Colback that can play that. It's all right.
Yeah, and Nico Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like it's happening now. Harry Toffolo on his way to Belgium.
He's already in Belgium, isn't he?
He's on his way, apparently.
There was a video earlier today that he was already in Belgium.
After his loan move to Anderlecht collapsed, surely that means it's not happening then if it's collapsed. He's on his way to Belgium. Or am I being thick?
I think it's saying like he's on his way to Belgium after it's like collapsed. So
okay.
Wait, let me read it again.
I think.
Oh, he's on his way back for it because it's collapsed. I think.
Oh wait, yeah, on his way back from Belgium.
Yeah, okay, I read that wrong. Sorry.
Right. Okay. Ignore what we're saying. He's not coming to. He's not going to be going to Anderlecht. Well, I mean, at least he had a day trip to Anderlecht.
I mean, the one thing is though, he's going from what Huddersfield. I think he's left his family there in Huddersfield. Come to Nottingham, and then he would have been off to Belgium in 6 months. So
yeah,
it wouldn't really been fair to him, to be honest.
Given living in Huddersfield and Nottingham, Belgium. There is actually 83 people. Thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate that. I don't stream very often, so that's particularly what's the word? I appreciate it very much. If you aren't new, then please hit the like button and subscribe. Always helps, of course. Comments. Forest Fan TV. Hello. How are you? What the?
Derby go up. There you go.
Yeah. Come on. You don't want Derby to go back to the Championship, do you?
Derby will go back up, so you better subscribe. There you go.
Yeah, come on. So if you don't want Derby to get promoted, then you've got to subscribe to this channel. Dom said it, not me.
Yep.
Just saying.
This guy.
Flash Boy, is Emmanuel Dennis leaving?
He's probably the first
I don't know. Probably that.
I think
I'm not sure.
Next season, I'll be very surprised if he's still in Forest.
I'll be very, very surprised.
The only reason I can see him staying is Forest go down.
The only reason why I can see him staying is if he all of a sudden just hits some magical form.
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't see him staying any other way.
I think he's had enough chances now. Was apparently awful against Blackpool. I didn't get to see the game, but apparently it was absolutely awful.
Yeah, he missed a few sitters from what I saw.
I mean, from what I've seen of him at home, he can't seem to stay on his feet. Watching him is like Bambi on ice. He just falls over. I genuinely don't. He just falls over, and
if Forest go down today, but if they stay up, he's one of the first one out. Probably the first one out. That's what I think.
I think the first one in, if we stay up next season, is probably Lodi, followed by I'd say Henderson. Hopefully,
Is it? Yeah.
Forest
agree.
can't, then they'll get Livovic or whatever his name is, I reckon.
I think here's the thing. I think we have some hope of signing him. Otherwise, we would have already gone for Livakovic.
Yeah. I think that's the backup.
I think that's a good point, actually. I hadn't thought of that.
Because he's like, what? He's 10 million euros, which is like, what? 9 million pounds?
It's nothing these
Nothing
days.
in the Premier League at all.
For a Croatian goalkeeper on a blinder at a World Cup.
It's,
You know.
won 2 penalty shootouts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with that.
I think he's the backup to Henderson in the summer. And Navas will cover till we get a number 1 like that, I reckon.
But I think the problem might be there is if we don't know what's happening with other clubs. Other clubs might already be trying to get him now. He might already be on his way somewhere else.
Leicester were linked, I think, before the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think.
I know,
they were, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
I think at the start of this season we were after him. It was either this season or last season. I remember we were after him, but
Yeah.
because I remember his name popping up a few times, but I don't remember.
I hope he's the backup to Henderson. That's what I think, and I hope it is true that though.
Because I do think that's a good point. Because I think the difference is this season. Because obviously we had 5 on loan last year,
Yeah.
and none of them had the option to buy. Like, obviously, we could have still gone and bought them if we wanted to, but I think having that clause in there, it does give us that security and hope that we can get them. And currently, that would be Loddy and Wood that would have that clause.
I think Wood has an obligation to buy with certain.
Yeah.
I think what is it? It's about £15 million buy obligation, with certain clauses being met. I'd imagine one of them clauses being Forest staying up, or a certain finish in the league.
It'd be like FIFA, where it's 5 goals a season. There's a clause.
Yeah.
But is it 5 players on that? I've lost track at this stage.
I think it's because some of them have obligations, so that sort of cancels out the loan for them kind of thing. So for like Henderson, we wanted to get an obligation. No, we wanted to get an option to buy in him, and Man United were having none of it. Loddy has an option to buy, about 25 mil. Wood has an obligation, so that cancels out his sort of loan. Who else? Who else have we got on loan? I don't think we have any more loan players, do we? I think it's just 4.
You know you've signed too many players and you don't know how many players you got on loan, honestly. We've got Loddy, Henderson, Navas, Wood. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure it is. Mental stuff. Yeah, Glenn. Welcome, Glenn. Talking about Toffolo being on his way back from Belgium. Absolutely. 83 people in, 52 likes. Yes. Please hit the like button, everyone, if you haven't already.
Have you gained subscribers yet, David? Because if you don't subscribe, at least 5 in the next 5 minutes, Derby coming up.
Dom, I need to get you on more. You're great motivation, honestly. Have I gained any subscribers? I've not even checked.
Subscribe
not many.
like now.
Subscribe.
Like and subscribe now, or else Forest are getting relegated.
That's even bigger motivation. You don't want us to go down to play Rotherham away again, do you? Come on.
If you don't subscribe or like, Derby come up and Forest go down.
That's the ultimate thing we don't want to see, isn't it?
No, we don't want to see
But then again, we wouldn't be playing them still because, actually, no, yeah, we would. I don't know what's going on there. What was I talking about here?
Has there been any news now? Anything? Forest put anything out?
I just refreshed twitter.com. I've not been on for a while, so I've probably been linked with another 3 players.
I wonder if we're holding out for a triple announcement, quadruple announcement.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be something like that. I think I just want to bring this up. I'm pleased this isn't happening. Andre Ayew going to Everton, not Forest.
Wait, Everton are also linked with a Reading striker as well.
Yeah, I saw something about Andre Ayew. Apparently, he's on his way. I know he's on his way to England, and apparently Cooper likes his profile as a striker.
I don't know about that one. I mean, I know we're not going to be getting him now, but I'm not sure.
I know Cooper had him at Swansea, didn't he? And he was their main man.
Didn't he?
He was their main man for him.
Yeah, I remember now. So that's probably why then.
Mm.
Just looking through, I can't really see anything else. What's going on? I can't see anything else. Any more rumours, anyone? Let us know in the comments below so we can talk about them. Because you can very easily miss things. There's that much going on.
Have we talked about the attackers?
Tell you what, being as you're bringing up positions, I was going to bring this up anyway. We can have a look at the squad depth, the legendary squad depth chart that I use in my videos, and we can just have a look at like how the whole squad's looking, and we can just like do some in-depth analysis. We're very good at that. I think so.
Remember to subscribe and girls.
Sorry, Dan?
Just telling your fan base or whatever to subscribe. Okay.
Yeah. So you would have seen this if you've watched me before. You would have seen this chart that I've made. This is how the squad's looking. We're talking about the attack. Obviously, we haven't actually mentioned it. We've been linked with some more attackers. That two Brazilian lads, Brenner and Anguilo. Is it Anguilo?
Yeah,
been linked with him, Angelo, and also this guy that's also linked with PSV that we shared earlier. And I have no idea how to pronounce his name. But you afterwards, are you happy with the attack?
Call him Bob.
We'll call him Bob.
Yeah.
Are we how are we happy with how the squad's looking in this moment in time? Then adding on the potential signings that are actually being rumoured.
Yes. We'll stay up.
I feel like
then we're going down.
I feel like it all depends on who we can keep fit. Because at this moment in time, we've lost Gibbs White, who is up there with the most. What is it? It's De Bruyne and Gibbs White for the most chances created in the whole season.
Only Kevin De Bruyne.
It's only De Bruyne. He's up there with the most chances created this entire season, and you lose that. I mean, we have players who can replace him, but can they replace him to a part of where we'll still get that chances created? Will they do as good as him? Because I feel like, as much as I love Scarpa and Lingard, I feel like they might not be at the I don't know how to. They are brilliant players, but are they at the level of Gibbs White creation chances and stuff like that?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think, like I was mentioning earlier, I think the fact we're losing Gibbs White, not for long, hopefully, is awful because of how good he is. Would you say he's been our best player this season? How much do you think he has? We've got options, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we have options, but it's just the loss of how many chances he creates and how he just, whenever you look at him, he just gets the ball and it just works, whatever he does. I mean, he ran Casemiro ragged in that Man United game.
He did.
I mean, everywhere like Casemiro looked, you just see Gibbs White on him, and it's that the amount of speed and like how much he can keep going and stuff is just unbelievable. And to lose that is going to be quite a heavy blow.
Navas, right, has played with Ronaldo, Messi, and Mbappe. Callum's just.
Are you looking at what I'm looking at? There's a thing that Callum Castells tweeted.
Yeah,
and he's just put a picture of Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, and then Shelvey. And he's saying he's played in some high caliber names there. Absolutely.
Yeah, but the best of them all, it's got to be it's just got to be Gibbs White. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
Ronaldo had its time. You know. Step
He's
aside
overrated.
Ronaldo. It's Gibbs White time now.
Gibbs White hasn't got an ego like Ronaldo. So there we go. That's the reason why I prefer him. I mean, he hasn't won the World Cup like Messi, to be fair, but you know, he's a bloody good player.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all say that. Nick saying about Navas, basically confirming what we've been saying, how it does look like we're going to be signing a former Champions League winner.
Arsenal's just announced that Jorginho signed.
And that's deadline day for you, isn't it?
That
Deadline
confuses
day.
me so much. How has that even happened? How has Jorginho gone from Chelsea to Arsenal?
The amount of times that happens, Chelsea and Arsenal players switching over.
But for
Mental.
it's £12 million as well. It's so cheap.
It's probably because they couldn't get Casado. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to reiterate, Navas will undergo medical shortly. As Forest will take another step closer to securing another remarkable signing. Absolutely, it would be remarkable.
I don't know how to explain the feelings I'm getting of us signing Keylor Navas.
Mate, honestly.
We've watched him in Champions League finals winning the thing, and now we're going to watch him at the City ground.
Well, yeah, you guys are.
This is what happens. I mean, it's surreal to everyone. But
Arsenal have just announced Jorginho, like 25
yeah,
seconds.
just said that, Dom. Just said that.
It's just announced, actually. Just now.
Yeah, I know.
I just said it. God, get with the times, lad. You're a bit behind there.
Right, I'm going for my dinner.
Okay, fair enough. Dom's off then.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Dom. Me and Wood will
okay.
keep going for a bit. You can ask us any questions in the comments below. Dom's going to talk instead, apparently. But yeah, I agree.
Goodbye.
Bye, Dom. So that was Dom. You have to keep going for a bit longer, Woods. Keep talking about Forest. We keep going for a bit. So yeah, ask us any questions, anyone, about whatever you'd like to do with Forest or the transfer window, whatever. And we'll do our best to answer them. I just want to reiterate the kind of player we're getting here with Navas. Just look at the amount of trophies he's won in his career. Look at this, everyone. This is insane stuff. Like, I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see it a bit better, but 3 Champions League titles, FIFA Club World Cup winner 4 times, Super Cup. He's won big trophies, and he's going to be playing for Nottingham Forest.
May I add, Nottingham Forest are going to have 5 Champions Leagues now. 5 Champions Leagues.
I think that counts, you know.
Yep.
I think it does count. So what? Doesn't matter that he won it with another club. So what?
Yeah.
Is that a spider on Woods' wall? Is it a spider on your wall?
Where?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All I'm saying is Bud and Johnson and the celebration against Millwall. That's all I'm seeing. MGW is joint 20th for big chances created.
You mean this thing here? One sec.
What? I don't know what's going on, everyone. Apparently there's a spider.
Is it this? That's not a spider.
What is that?
It's a thing I created when I was younger.
Nostalgia. Oh, right. He is joking, apparently. He is joking. I mean, I would have thought so. Forest Dan, I just love Rad's squad depth graphic. Appreciate it. It took me a few minutes to make. Yeah, appreciate it. That actually took me a while. Brian, hello, mate. You Rads. Absolutely, you Rads. Any questions, anyone? Get them in the comments below, and we'll answer them. Please hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Newcastle 1-0 by the way. So that's who we're going to be playing in the League Cup final when we beat United 4-0 tomorrow. So yeah, that's not really a shock, is it? Who's just scored? Longstaff scored. Interesting. I think speaking of the United game, we'll talk about that now. How do you feel, Woods? We're 3-0 down on aggregate. Are you bothered? How do you think we should approach it?
We approach it like any other game. I feel like if you go in thinking, oh, we've already lost this, what's the point? That's how you get battered more. We had that. I think we had the same the mentality against Man City. You know, we did go out there and we tried to attack them, but I just feel like at times we sort of like just gave up at times.
Yeah. I don't think what helped with the Newcastle game is the fact that obviously, not Newcastle, Man City game is obviously we were still developing as a team, weren't we? We were becoming a team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could still go there now and lose 6-0. It's Man City. You know, Chelsea went there a few weeks ago and lost 4-0. So it doesn't really matter with that. But I do think with certain games, we would have stood a better chance now that we're an actual team. So I think that's one way of looking at it. But I agree. I think we should be approaching it in the same way. I mean, in terms of lineup, would you rest big players or would you play some reserves instead?
Well, I feel like I wouldn't play all the big hitters. I feel like you got to have some on the bench, give some players time. You know, I feel like Brennan is a problem though. If you rest someone like Brennan, you've got Dennis to back that up. Yeah. And as we've talked about before, Dennis isn't the sort of one lad you probably want starting every game on the form that he currently is. No. If you do rest him and he starts getting form, that's a different story.
Yeah. But, yeah, absolutely.
With how we've been doing this window, we're looking at a lot of attackers. I mean, you look. Chris Wood is currently cup tied with Newcastle, so he can't play.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the league, I mean, in the cup, you can't. I don't know. You want the fans would want probably to see the team go out there and try and win it. So you'd want it. I think fans would want to see probably the strongest side we could put out to try and get to Wembley. You know, again.
Second time in a year, that'd be absolutely mental if you saw that. But yeah, I agree. Like you go out to win every game, even if we're not going to be able to overturn it. You still would like to see us go out there and try and win and go through. So that's what I personally think we should do. You know, there's no point turning up if you're not going to try and win.
Well, I mean, you look at the what game was it? I mean, you go look at teams like Man City and stuff. They normally, whatever team they put in the cup is the team they play in the entire cup.
Yeah, they play a strong team, don't they, all the time?
Yeah. I mean, they go out to go and win the games, to go, you know, and they want everyone to enjoy the games. And I mean, if obviously I'm not comparing us to Man City, that'd be a long stretch, a very, very long stretch to try and get that.
Pretty big.
But that's the thing, you want your team, you want your fans to be happy with the performance and happy with the players you put out. I mean, I think for Blackpool, Cooper underestimated them. Yeah, I think he probably thought, you know, we'll play a weaker side against 23rd in the Championship, haven't had the best of form. You know, we'll go out, we'll put out a weaker side and we'll probably beat them. And it just backfired on us. We lost 4-1.
Massively backfired. Yeah, I totally agree. That's what we did. It was entitlement. And Cooper obviously made a point of that in his press conference. He wasn't happy with it. And that's something you don't normally see from a Steve Cooper team. So no wonder he was annoyed. I mean, we all were because it was that awful. I think it's one of the very few like big lows we've had on the Cooper. Really, is that Blackpool game. Obviously, not being a huge priority, but it was still unacceptable result.
Yep.
I think speaking of, obviously it's meant to be about transfers. We're still working to sign some players, of course, Felipe, Navas, and obviously Shelvey. Probably going to announce them all in one go for all we know. I don't see us signing anyone else. But being as if we are potentially going to be signing them, let's just go back to the squad depth map for a moment and just have a look at, considering the new players, what would be your strongest team going forward? Adding in Navas and Felipe and Shelvey. You know, do any of those go straight into the starting 11 for you?
It all depends, really, on how they play in their first game. Because that first game matters. Especially for the players coming in. I mean, we've seen it before where people have had a bad first game and then the second game they've gone out and immediately just smashed it out of the water. But they've got to make an impact. I mean, Navas, in his first game, you'd be looking at trying to keep a clean sheet, you know, especially a team around you in the league. You'll want to be getting that clean sheet, you know. But it's all like I said, it's all down to form. I mean, if I personally think at the moment with Yates injured for the foreseeable future or however long he's going to be out, I think Shelvey probably goes straight in for Yates at this current moment in time. I think it'd be harsh on Worrell, but I think Felipe gets in front of Worrell at the moment because of the experience that Felipe has. Especially because the thing about Felipe is he winds people up. He does. That's what he does. He winds people up and it gets into their heads. And I mean, that's the sort of player we haven't had, I feel like, for quite a while. We haven't had somebody that gets under people's skin. I mean, Taylor did it.
He was that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's like our new version of him.
He was the player that gets under people's skin. You know, we look back at the Preston game with that famous face meme he had. With the ref.
That was iconic. Iconic from Lyle. I mean, Lyle may not have been like the best player for us, but he did have some iconic moments.
Yeah.
You know, some of the things he said and did, and then obviously the Bristol game immediately sticks out. It was probably one of our few. Sorry, one of our few good players under Houghton, I suppose.
That Bristol game was probably we have to thank Lyle for that, because I feel like if we didn't have Lyle in that, it's pretty obvious. If we didn't have Lyle in that game, we would have lost.
Yeah,
and that could have changed our season. We could have been 3 points off the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. He's scored big goals for us. You know, I mean, like the penalties, the penalty run up is always going to be iconic.
Yeah,
that game against Coventry, remember when he went in the last minute when we robbed them, we weren't very good either. You know, he did get some big goals for us. So it'd be sad to see him leave, but obviously it's the best for his career. He needs to go out and get games. The same with Cafu.
He isn't playing for us, and
he's not playing for us, is he? So he needs to go and get games. The same with Cafu. By the way, everyone, I've actually mentioned it. It does look like both of them are going to be going to Reading. I think it's a great move for both of them. Getting two very good players to the Championship. They're all, you know, steady players for the Championship.
What, that Cook and Taylor?
No, Cafu and Taylor.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know Cook has a strong possibility of not leaving now because.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah.
So
it looks like he's going to stay. I mean, he was potentially going to go to Stoke or Luton or Birmingham, but it does look like he's going to stay. We mentioned that earlier on when you weren't on. I mean, don't see him really playing at all going forward if he's going to stay around.
No. I mean,
He's probably going to be leaving in the summer now.
I mean, I've said I can understand why we're letting him go, because he isn't Premier League quality anymore.
No.
I feel he's too slow. I feel like he gives away needless stuff. I mean, you look at the was it the 2 penalties that he gave away? I'm pretty sure, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was the one with the handball against Tottenham. Where he sort
Is this for Bournemouth? For Bournemouth, he did it against Norwich.
And I wonder about for Forest. It was against Tottenham where Henderson saved it.
Yeah,
and then he sort of like hit the ball like that as he was falling back.
I remember.
Then there was the moment. What was there a moment this season where he gave away a penalty and he should have got a red card but didn't?
I think there was.
I'm sure there was.
I definitely remember the Spurs game there where he did that, blatant.
Yeah.
But I remember he's done that a few times. Like I say, against Norwich or Bournemouth, he literally did a save. So he has got that temperament to him, seemingly, but don't see him playing hardly at all going forward.
I mean, you can understand why he's doing that, because Cook puts a lot of passion into whatever clubs he goes to. I mean, he came here and you look at the penalty he scored against Sheffield. He had like a Stuart Pearce moment where he was just going like that to the fans. I
love that. I mean, I'll never have a bad word to say about Steve Cook. Like, he may not have been the best player for us this season, but last year it was obviously brilliant.
Oh yeah, I mean,
top professional.
I've seen people go on about Cook, like Felipe, as like the Cook of this season, where he's come in. Well, he'll possibly come in and he'll do a job. And I mean,
yeah, I could see that. He's got a lot more experience at a higher level. Even though he's older than Cook, he's got that experience and the know-how. So I think it's the right move, really. We'll just actually talk about Felipe. Apparently, he has passed his medical, which is excellent to know. In fact, I've got it on. I've got it on here actually. Here, yeah. Felipe has passed his medical at Forest and is now trying to finalise personal terms contract before completing his move from Atletico Madrid. So that looks like it's on the brink of happening. It's going to be fascinating to know when we actually announce these transfers, isn't it? I mean, it could be any time, imminently. Glenn, talking about the United game, go out and win it. Play naught to break our 100% record in the League Cup semi-finals. Play the starting 11 except Lingard. We put out against Blackpool. Yeah. Leeds is our focus, absolutely. Leeds is definitely more important. Huge opportunity, of course. Leeds are a good team, but it's a chance. I mean, we can touch on that, actually. I think we're going to probably wrap up soon, but massive game against Leeds, isn't it, Woods?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Man United thing isn't over yet until that final whistle on tomorrow. But as soon as that final whistle goes, all the focus is on the league and trying to stay up now. Because the league is massive to the Forest fans and the club.
It's everything.
Like we can never. We don't have the words to talk to describe what it would be like being an established Premier League club after 20-odd years of the Championship and League One.
I can't imagine it.
Like, to be an established Premier League club, someone like Palace, like, as much as we'd want to be fighting for the top 6 every season, being a mid-table Premier League club, fighting every once or twice, that would suit me perfect. I would be entirely happy with that.
I'd be more happy than being in the Championship.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want Forest to be in the Championship anymore.
Yeah,
we've been in the Championship all my life. We've went through the highs and lows at that Forest and Championship.
No, I mean, our supporters, no matter where we are, but ideally, you want us to be in the Premier League. Everyone wants to be in the Premier League. And I think the blueprint for any team coming up, and I really think Forest have got a chance of doing this with the ambition we have and the money we now have. It seems like Brighton and Brentford. You're looking at the way that they've gone about promotion. Brighton obviously spent a couple of years acclimatising to it, and then they look at them now. You know, they lose key aspects, and they still continue to grow. Brentford have done the same. You know, they've only got stronger this season when people thought they might have dropped off. And I really think they're the kind of clubs that we should aim to try and be and base it off. And I think we're doing that already. We're arguably doing it quicker, you know, with the amount of ambition we've gone for straight away.
Newcastle 2-0 now.
Yeah. And that's all but dead in the water, isn't it?
Long stuff again.
Blimey. They must be playing a weakened team, are they? Not sure. Any more comments? Anthony, how you doing, mate? Morning, Rads. Obviously, you're talking from Australia. If anyone wondering, good to see you in here. Apparently, Anthony, Angela's having a medical.
Well, I know that we had we was aggressively going for quite a few of the players that we couldn't get earlier today. I mean, I know Angelo. Apparently, we went like. We're reportedly trying to get him for about 16-17 million pound now. We scrapped off the loan with an option. We're just going straight for the permanent.
Blimey. No, I've not seen anything about that. To be fair,
I only saw it when I was coming around the corner coming back from college. So
right. Don't even think we can't really cover much more. I mean, we're just waiting for the announcements now for Felipe, Navas, and Shelvey, and maybe even someone else. It's been good doing this, everyone. Been live for an hour and 20. Really appreciate everyone tuning in and watching this. I don't stream very often, of course. I would like to do more of these. I may even do these a bit more frequently. Do like mini podcasts every so often. So yeah, stay tuned for any of those. Anything in general. Got a lot coming up this week on the channel. We've got the Leeds vlog, the United reaction, and I'm going to do another roundup video about the transfer window as well. So yeah, stay tuned for all that. It's going to be a busy week, as it would be on deadline day. And just as we're about to leave, we've got Bray. Hello, Bray. How you doing, mate? Good timing. You've joined us as we're about to end the stream. But yeah, thank you very much to Woods. Thanks to Dom for being here initially. Yeah, always good fun doing these. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this, everyone, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Greatly appreciated. And yeah, really appreciate it. And before I go, a couple of comments. I've got Forest Stamp. Thanks for being here, mate. Appreciate that. Don't set your expectation bar at Palace mid-table. Forest are back. The third star beyond the badge. Yeah, I mean, I could see I could see us trying to aim higher than Palace.
Well, no, I was just giving an example.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I know.
Totally. You know, chuff it. Go for European champions. You know.
I think that's what we're trying to do. I really do going forward. Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there, everyone. Thanks for watching, everyone. And yeah, we'll see you very soon. Come on, you Reds. Up the Reds.